Welcome back to Hey Chris, the show that is without a doubt the #1 most Hey Chrisiest show on the internet. For now. I met this really fantastic guy at college, and I kinda have a big crush on him. He's nice, he's funny, he's smart, and not to mention, insanely attractive. The problem is, I'm thinking that maybe he's not single. Yeah, that could be a problem. That could be a problem. We've never actually talked about it, and we talk a lot. And it's rare that he posts anything on social media about her, but the few stories that I've seen her included in seem pretty indicative that they're a thing. But he's also never posted anything that stays more than 24 hours or tagged her in anything, and so I really have no idea who this girl is or anything more about the situation than a picture of her with various heart emojis every so often. Ugh. He seems happy, and I'm happy for him to be happy, but it's still not a fun place to be in for me. So I guess my question is, do I just give up all hope with this guy? I don't want to be the other girl trying to steal him away or anything. Or should I hang on to the shred of hope that I have and still keep flirting and assuming/hoping he's single and try to see if he says that he is or not? Ooh, boy, do we have a conundrum on our handerinos, folks. So let's establish a few things. First of all, if he hasn't explicitly made it clear that he is in a relationship, then you can't be blamed for wanting to flirt with him. That's just normal. But you've got, before you go any farther, you probably should get this established, right? Maybe just you said that you're good friends with him and you talk a lot, so maybe just bring it up one day. It's oh yeah, who's the girl on there? Also, something I just noticed in editing, it's entirely plausible that this other girl could be his sister. I'm just saying. This is kind of devious, but maybe have you could do a planted conversation where one day you seemingly bring up this random topic, right? Just a normal conversation that you've secretly planned for months. And said topic could be something like, I don't know, the shared experiences / differences in life experiences between boys and girls. And you could say, you could start it out by talking about dating, right? And ask him oh yeah, speaking of which, do you have a girlfriend? Just super casual, right? And if he says yes, don't show how you're suddenly dying on the inside and the screams that are coming from within. Just laugh it off. But if he says no, boom, you're golden. And that's when you make your move. No, even better, say oh, that's such a shame. You're so attractive and so funny and so smart. I'm sure any girl would love to date you. Especially the one standing a foot away from you right now. See if he picks up your subtle hints there. So recently I was messaging this guy friend of mine who I don't know all that well, and he mentioned something about how he was unable to do something because of the state that he was in. I assumed mentally, and I kind of went all mother hen on him and kind of turned the conversation towards mental health. It turns out he was just talking about his busy schedule. Now I feel really stupid. I also kind of hinted something about my own issues with mental health, and I would normally never do that with pretty much anyone, let alone someone I don't know all that well. I have felt guilty about not being there for my friends as much as I could have been in the past, which is probably why I tried to see if he was okay right off the bat. Now I'm afraid he'll think I'm weird and it'll be awkward the next time I see him, and I don't want him thinking there's anything wrong with me, mental health wise, and I honestly am just really embarrassed about the whole situation. What should I do? Okay, first of all, you did not do anything wrong. Mental health is a serious problem that so many people struggle with, so it makes sense that that's what you thought he was referring to and you tried to help him. If you were actively, if you thought he had, depression and started mocking that, then yeah, we would have a problem, but you were trying to help him, so calm down. There's no reason for him to think that you're weird or look at you differently. If anything, he'll think oh, there's the girl that was super nice and tried to help me when she thought I was going through something, right? Think about it this way. If you were in his shoes, right? Someone did that to you, would you think, ugh, they're such a weirdo for trying to help me? Or you're good, girl. I don't think you have anything to worry about. In fact, if anything, maybe this could help you, right? Get a little bit more used to talking about your issues with other people, you know? Maybe because you've already basically broke the ice with him, maybe next time you see him, I don't know. It seems like you're the one that like really needs to talk about this with someone else. So, wow. Flipping your expectations on their head. Now you are the one that's talking about your mental state to him. Boom! Welcome to Hey Chris! So, I live in Australia. Oh wait, hang on, no, I needed... I'm reading this wrong. So, I live in Australia and I have a friend that lives in LA and she is too afraid to come here and I can't really afford to go to the US. But it's getting to the point where we need to meet. What do we do? Well, first of all, you don't do a horrendously awful Australian accent. I'm so sorry. I basically offended all of Australia right there. So I totally understand like that you can't come there because of money. That's like a perfectly valid reason. But if the only thing holding her back from visiting you is like her fears, I think that's what needs to change. So maybe like ask her like, hey, what specifically are you worried about? Especially if she's done like domestic flying in the US, you know? But if that doesn't work for whatever reason, maybe, I don't know, find a place in the middle. You could both visit London! There we are! Okay, now hold on. Think about how cool that would be though, right? Like, your time with your friend will also be exploring London. That sounds perfect! That's awesome! Now I really want to do that. Hey Andrew, pack your bags! Just kidding, I really cannot afford that and I just let your hopes up only to dash them into the ground. Okay, bye. So, I'm a senior in high school, and I've been thinking about what I'm gonna do when I graduate. I can get really excited and carried away when thinking about what I could do, and then, when I really think about it, I get worried. Oh. I have depression and anxiety, and I've been at a low point for 4 years, and I'm just now climbing my way out of it. I have this one friend who helps me a lot without even realizing it since I haven't told him about my issues. Let me just say, I'm glad that you specified him, because otherwise I legitimately would have wondered if this was the other girl. Like from the earlier question, how perfect would that have been? He's helped me with panic attacks and lots of other things, and without him, I doubt I would have even made it this far. I feel like after all he's done for me, I should at least let him know what's going on. But it scares me because what if he doesn't want to be my friend anymore? Oh my gosh, wow, that is freaking heavy. Whew! I will say this though, if he's like actively helped you through a panic attack, I think he kind of already has an inkling, you know, and like he's a good friend and a good person, and based on how you've described him, I highly, highly doubt he would just up and abandon you if you admitted the fact that you sometimes have anxiety and depression. Like, no duh! So I think you have a keeper on your hands right there, and yeah. Wow. So even though you haven't like explicitly told him about what you have to deal with, he probably has, you know, is aware. So I don't think you have anything to worry about. In fact, if anything, I will say like definitely open up to him, but then really make it clear to him that he can confide in you so that you guys like, you got each other's backs. Because it sounds like that's what you kind of both will need. And it's just a good thing. If you're dealing with depression or anxiety, tell somebody, please. That system of support is so important. It's so important. And that's all of the emails that I got this week. But here's the thing. I tweeted about that, how I kind of needed more questions. And a funny thing happened. I got more questions, but on Twitter. So, enjoy this exclusive Twitter round of Hey Chris. Can you lick your I know she tweeted this because she knows that she is the only person I know that can do this. If not, do you know anybody that can lick their elbow? Yes, Britt, I do know one person. I honestly don't know if I can choose between someone who I mostly agree with on everything except on one thing versus partially agreeing with a few things and strongly agree on one particular. Any advice? Why do you have to choose? I mean, it also depends on what these are, you know? Is it like racism is bad? Or is it like I prefer Thin Mint cookies? Which, for the record, both of those are the only acceptable opinions. Thin Mints for the win. Oh my gosh. I just realized that the gag that this video started with, that wasn't a coming out of the closet joke, I swear. I didn't even think of that. But anyway, on that lovely note, if you need questions or have life advice, if you have questions or need life advice, email me at chrisporterhoward@gmail.com and I don't know what I do, honestly. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. But I'll see you next week. Stay positive.